Alright, hi everybody. Today we are going to be talking about navigating the chaos of Forza's penalty system. Now, I love and hate the penalty system. I think it was a great idea in theory. It's just been implemented poorly. I know I'm not the first person to say that, and I won't be the last, but I thought I would share some of the crucial methods that I use to avoid penalties, both track limits and avoidable contact. Contrary to popular belief, track limits violations actually do affect your safety rating, which is absurd, but it's a system that we are stuck with. Now, I'm not trying to brag, I just want to let you guys know that I know what I'm talking about. So, here is my safety rating and skill rating. I just thought I would include that so you know you're not listening to a moron. So, without further ado, let's get into the best ways of avoiding track limits and avoidable contact penalties. These are the 4 most useful methods that I use. Now, I know some of you are thinking, duh, everybody knows about this, but I race with some of you guys, and some of you don't. So here I am, barreling into a corner. I'm never going to make it, so I pause. The AI model takes over, keeps me on the track. I don't ruin my race or anybody else's. We all get to go on racing and having a great time. Same thing here. I'm coming in too hot. He actually swerved, expecting me to hit him, but I didn't. So this is a lot less known than ghosting, but it's actually really easy to do. So here I am off track. Normally I'd get a massive penalty for doing this, but because I checked to see who was behind me and I enter the track behind him, I'm all good. Same thing here. I can't really see the braking zone because of where the sun is. So I come off track, come back on behind the other car, and I'm all good. Now, this can be really hard to do accurately at the beginning of a race. You see here I'm in 8th. I didn't actually pay attention to that during this race, and I suffer for it. So I just really thought I was not doing very hot, and I actually entered the track more than 10 positions further back than I needed to, which sucks. I try to learn from that mistake here, same race, but yeah, pay a little bit of attention to where you're going. Now, overbraking is a similar concept to undercutting. You just can't undercut nobody. Now, there are times when you might actually lose more time by doing this than just taking a penalty, but for the most part, if you're doing this right, you'll be actually benefiting from slowing down too much. Now, you don't need to just do this when avoiding off-track penalties. It's vital when avoiding contact penalties. Now, this is a bit of a hectic lobby. I think, at a B safety rating when I was in this because of some stupid penalties, like when a car slides across your front and you just can't do anything about it. Get a 4-second penalty for contact that someone else caused, and it sucks. But you can just make the best of your situation if that happens to you. Just have a good, clean race like I did here. Get your safety rating back up and start racing against drivers who actually care about being fair and competent. Sorry, not sorry. Now, obviously, this one is the hardest to master. That's why I put it towards the end. So this is a wet Silverstone, probably one of the most technically challenging courses in the game. And especially when you're in the wet against super fast cars, you need to have some finesse. Now, even though this is a really high safety rating lobby, there's inevitably going to be a little bit of bumps and bashes, just like this. That's not really going to hurt you. Let's just pay attention to what happens in this corner. Pay particular attention to my throttle. Let's go back, see what happened. Now, it's not much, but just lifting and coasting for half a second can make an enormous difference to your race. Watching the McLaren again, he just stays full throttle, sticks with it, and it doesn't really work out for him. Now, this next corner is really challenging, but I just do the same thing. Let's just watch what happens. I hope these 4 steps were useful to you. If you're a new Forza player and this was informative and can help you improve your racecraft, I'm happy. I look forward to racing against an improved version of you. Now I'd like to show some of the more ridiculous penalties I have received or seen others not receive over the past couple of weeks, just to kind of demonstrate that even though there are pretty predictable elements of the penalty system, it's still mostly chaos. Now, as we see here, the McLaren comes in. He doesn't have too big of an issue, but it's still not great that he did that. If I were him, I would have slowed down and let the other car through if I didn't receive a penalty. But the other car decides to take revenge, using me as a battering ram, which is infuriating in itself, and then I get a penalty. Now I don't even have a word for that. That's just, ugh. Now this is practice, as you can see. Obviously, I should have just backed out of it or ghosted or quit, but instead, I ruined that guy's lap, and I get a big penalty for it because the game decided to start someone right in front of me. Now this is the most egregious track limits penalty I've ever seen. I lost time by doing this, and I lose 3 positions over this move, and I get a big penalty for it, which is obscene. Now this is, everybody's worst nightmare for a race start. You qualify really well, you have good reaction, you get a great launch, really solid chance of winning this race. I just need to keep it clean, keep it between the lines, everything's going well. But, that's not going to happen. Well, this is just fantastic. Obviously, here I should have ghosted. I was just infuriated. Really, the game should have ghosted me, like it does here. Here we are coming upon another accident, and ooh, look who's that! So pretty not pleased to learn that this Eric guy didn't get a penalty for hitting me in the same race that I got a penalty for being rear-ended, but, we move. Now, although Eric's not great, he doesn't really have any malicious intent, you can tell here, but someone else does. So obviously, that didn't go well. 4th to 15th in one corner. This is probably the worst opening lap I've ever had. Let's just watch it. I accept it's possible that he was trying to avoid me here, but I really think this is just incompetence losing it by himself. Now, I'm not hit here, but I am distracted enough to ruin yet another corner. Here we are, pit stop stage, and you're never going to guess who I ran into again.